that?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay.
Okay, we're streaming.
Unbelievable!
It's recording. Okay, good.
Okay.
Are we on Twitch?
We should be everywhere. Yes, Twitch, Rumble, all the things.
All right. I'm gonna just.
Okay. I'll refresh Twitch. I don't see you.
Oh no,
there
there
you
I
are.
am. Hello,
That's
face.
right. That's right, guys.
I've got the stream muted.
Oh well, of course.
Well, yeah.
Alrighty.
And I'm not gonna look at myself because
You're
that would be
first.
weird.
I don't have that on, Paul.
That stuff is never. You can even say not first and still technically earn it.
Yeah.
Because I've done that so many times. I've
Yep.
been like not first and
Oh, my word.
It's
That's
fun.
great. Yeah, it's real fun, guys.
It is super fun.
Oh my word. Okay, then I think we can just go ahead and get into it.
All right, you ready?
Oh, I should have asked you, Paul, Ashley. You had your Star Fox. You had your 2 likes and a classic maker, 2 dislikes, treasure maker.
Yes.
And you also, Paul, had that.
Oh shoot! I didn't put them in order.
Okay, I'll give you a second.
I just need 20 seconds. Talk amongst yourself.
1,
You have 2.
2.
1, 2, done. Ah.
3, 4.
1, 2, 10.
Not funny, husband.
Oh wow. Geek Devotions. Yeah, first not first. Agree, it's fun. Wow.
It
Geek
is.
Devotions.
It is fun.
No.
Fun, not fun. You get to see our Christmas tree in the back,
That's true. You do get to see it.
at least in the top corner.
Yeah. Let's see. Bob says, "Here we go." Indeed.
Indeed.
Just wing it, Paul. Yeah. Just wing it, Paul.
Yeah, I can wing it. Except I don't have a wing. A P-wing. I have a cape, but
That's true. With a feather. You got a feather?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that's good.
yeah,
Yeah. The P wing is in Super Mario 3, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. And then the none of those things work. Geek Devotions. Do you have an X-wing? Oh my gosh.
In another galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
A long time ago.
there's a question while we're waiting for Paul. Ashley, if you could pilot any Star Wars ship, what would you pilot?
I probably would want to pilot an X-Wing.
Okay. Nice.
Because the Millennium Falcon, I don't
know how you steer on the side. How do you do that? I don't get it.
I don't know, and I don't want to I don't want to steer like a Corellian cruiser.
Yeah.
There's so many different spaceships, and I don't know. An X-wing seemed like the easiest thing to because it's like a one-person craft generally,
exactly.
and then all the rest it's just like overly complicated. And from what I know of the expanded universe, there's like even more ships, and it gets even more complicated. And yeah.
Okay. Why is it an X-wing and not a X-wing? I don't.
And X-wing, because the English language when you phonetically sound it out, it puts an E, a vowel. In front
Yeah,
of it.
It does. It likes to do that.
X-wing. Millennium Falcon is supposed to rotate, so it's side. I never see it fly that way. Okay, so
Do a barrel roll!
all right, we'll do that.
Oh,
All right, guys.
Okay. I mean, what's the name of the Falcon? The hot guy, Falco?
Falcon.
Oh,
Punch.
in Star Fox.
In Star Fox,
it's
yeah.
Falco. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I've never played any of the Star Fox games. I remember my brother playing the 64 one a little bit. I'm like, okay. I know the frog's name is Slippy because it annoys the crap out of me. And then,
The rabbit is Peppy.
yes. But
Is he a rabbit or a donkey?
I think he's a rabbit.
Donkey.
Donkey?
Bob was like, bro, wait, sis, what?
Because like what was our daughter saying the other day? She kept going, donkey, because they had the nativity set, and she's just like, I just want the donkey,
Oh my gosh.
donkey, and she just said it like 20 times.
What starship would Mario fly? The Y-wing, because Yoshi. All right, guys, let's get
That
going
would
here.
be the P-wing. Anyway.
It would be the P-wing because it already exists.
All right, let's
All right,
start in
ready?
5.
Oh wait,
4.
is this the 5 seconds of silence?
Oh no, let's do that. Thank you, Paul. Is that not in my notes? It's right there. Jeez,
You just didn't.
I missed it.
You
Yeah,
didn't
okay.
go through the checklist.
Here's 5 seconds of silence starting now. Alrighty. All right, now 5 seconds to actually start. Yes, it's so cool. Can you not hear us? You should be able to hear us just fine. Oh my gosh. You guys are responding to us, so
I
it
wasn't
seems
very
like you're
good
going to
at
talk to
holding
us.
still. Actually, no, I was pretty good at holding
Oh
still.
my gosh.
Who's
Anyway,
still?
Paul.
No, he was talking about it's so quiet after the count.
Well, yeah, but I didn't. Okay, yeah, I guess we're fine.
Don't freak out.
During the 5 seconds. Okay. I'm prone to freaking out. Okay, Paul,
right.
whenever you're ready.
All right. Yo, you're in for a treat, so hang on to your seat. Get ready for adventure and remarkable feats. You'll meet Koopas, the Troopas, the Princess, and the others. Hanging with the plumbers, you'll be listening to this episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Thunder Road 3 now online. How can I help you travel through movie space-time today? Course entered. Super Mario World, 1990. Is this correct? Course set. Rewinding in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, Rewinders and new listeners, to the Retro Rewind podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 or more years ago. I'm your captain of the former pod, now the TR3, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by your XO and mine, Paul, the PaulJPowers.com Powers.
It's a me, PaulJPowers.com.
That's amazing. And we also for this, dang it, Edna mode already?
Yes!
And also
Sorry.
And also for this discussion of the game, Super Mario World, we welcome back aboard Administration Officer of the former pod, Ashley Ruiz. Hey, Ashley.
Aloha all.
Aloha or aloha to you.
No, never. I beg to differ.
And now they have a quick flyby of who we are. Paul, can you give us a quick overview of Dinosaur Island? I mean, the production specs for Super Mario World.
All right. Super Mario World, Mario and Yoshi's Adventure
No!
Land is an interactive anime video. What do you mean, no?
There's no extra after Mario World. It's just Super Mario World.
Gonna say, wasn't
All
there
right.
a Super Mario World cartoon?
Let's not confuse
Oh, the cartoon.
things.
Okay. All right. Super Mario World is an animated series that ran in the 90s.
Great. Can you please do the Super Nintendo game, Paul?
Oh, the original one?
Yes.
That could have been brought to my attention yesterday.
Fine. Super Mario World was released November 21st, 1990 in Japan, and it takes about 5 hours to beat, I guess. And
Well, if you're a
rated-
speedrunner like Paul, then it takes like an hour. But for the rest of us,
It's rated E for everyone except Bowser. It's produced by Shigeru Miyamoto. Sorry, this is going to take a while.
oh yeah, buckle up, people.
It's directed by Takashi Tezuka.
Yeah.
Designed by Katsuya Iguchi, Hideki Kono, with artists Figafumi Hino.
Shigafumi?
Shigafumi.
Hino.
Yeah, whatever. And the music was composed by Koji Kondo. And all right,
Wow.
so Super Mario World was made for an unknown amount of money.
Oh.
Sorry, it's too complicated
Wah, wah,
because
wah.
it was also with the build of the system, and then they had F-Zero, and so there's a lot of. Anyway,
That makes sense.
that doesn't matter
Okay.
because the game was well received anyway. But given this fact, how high in the best-selling Super Nintendo games of all time do you think it ranks
Ooh.
among all the Super Nintendo games?
Wow,
go for the-
all of them?
We'll go for the top 42.
Oh, okay. Were there only 42 games?
No, there's a lot more.
Oh,
but it's
okay.
in the top.
Way more.
All right.
Yeah.
Everyone here in chat is welcome to join in. But Ashley, what's your first guess?
In all honesty, I would want to say like it's number one, just
Number
because
one?
it was a pack-in title.
All right.
And it was released in all regions, and more often than not, people regard it as one of the best Mario games ever, if not one of the best Super Nintendo games ever released. I want to say one.
One. All right.
I mean, maybe I'm aiming a little too high, but it was a pack-in, and pack-ins, because they're there,
Yeah.
they just got lots of copies to
Yeah.
spare.
She got that feather and flew with it.
Oh my goodness.
Hopped on Yoshi, and
Then-
we just ran away.
Here in chat, Geek Devotions guess is 3. Bobo guesses 2. You guys are not leaving me with much. All right. Then I guess I'm going to have to go with, I'll go with 5 because I feel like it's going to be up there as well. So Paul, where was it in the top 42 games?
It was number 1.
Ah,
Congratulations,
good
Ashley.
job, Ashley. Well done.
It was a pack-in title, and it was incredibly popular.
It almost doubled the amount of the number 2.
Wow.
Really? What was number 2? Or are we going to cover it upcoming?
We might cover it upcoming.
Okay, so let's not talk about that
okay.
right now.
I think I played that game too. If it was a game, maybe it's a game.
Oh
maybe
my
we
gosh.
And maybe we aren't covering it.
I don't know.
Anyway, guys, thank you for those factoids, Paul. And let's see if any of them factor into our memory mind melt or subsequent roundtable discussion, which we'll get into once Alice is located. Our target game.
Alert. Alert. Target located. Spoilers incoming. Establishing analysis vector.
You've played every Mario game. You've conquered every Mario game. You think you've mastered all there is to know about Mario. Well, you better think again. New Super Mario World, made possible by the power of the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. You've never faced the challenge of so many enemies, so many obstacles, so many levels. You've never needed help from a dinosaur before. Super Mario World, you get it only with a Super NES. It's part of the growing lineup of games for the next generation from Nintendo. You've got to play it. You've got to have it. You've got a reputation. Now you're playing with power. Super power.
Sega.
I've got a reputation that doesn't include really remembering that commercial, but definitely those games featured on it. And let's see if any of the let's see what happens when you combine our memories into our memory mind melt synopsis of Super Mario World. As far as the story goes, for once Mario isn't saving the princess. He's saving eggs. Oh wait, I guess they're Yoshi's, but they're trapped. Stop Bowser and Koopalings and save Dino Island. Maybe save the kidnapped Princess Peach afterwards? In the gameplay, we remembered being able to ride Yoshi and use him for different moves was really cool. I'm getting hit and running off. Not so much in this. Side-scrolling classic Mario platform, but better with new power-ups and world map with hidden paths. And for multiplayer, 2-player option, but no co-op. Taking turns is lame. I want 2 players at once. That's right. You know what? I think we almost got all that correct, but the Princess Peach was captured, then that was really what you're aiming for to begin with. You later the quest for the eggs becomes your thing. So unfortunately we were deceptive, only slightly. But according to those memories, as not so flawed as they were, what rating did they lead you to predict for this game before we replayed it? Classic, nostalgic, or tragic? Ashley, what was your prediction?
Classic.
Classic? Why?
I just remember watching my brother play it and just being fascinated. I'm like, what is this? Like, I knew of Yoshi, and I remember him playing bits and pieces, and it never really played beyond like the first couple of levels growing up, but I just thought that it was just beautiful, and it's aged like a fine wine. It still looks really good, and
It's so pretty.
it seemed like it was going to be a classic because so many people regard it as classic. And if you look at like top 10 Mario games, it's usually like in the top 3, if not in the number 1 spot. And obviously it's the best selling game on the Super Nintendo, thanks to the pack-in. But in addition to that, like, people generally regard it as one of the best 2D Mario games ever made.
I guess that's a fair reason to predict this as classic. Paul, what was your prediction?
I predicted classic as well.
Okay.
I got this back in the day when it came out, saved up my money, my Christmas money, got the strategy guide, unlocked every secret, got the star by the 96 to make sure I completed it all.
Jeez.
And then, you know, got to through the star roads and flipped the world so that they all become like
autumn or something, right?
Yeah. So it's like too many hallucinogenic mushrooms and all the turtles become Mario heads.
Oh my.
That's what happens? Oh my goodness.
Depends on who you ask.
Oh, okay. So for me, I similarly predicted classic, but I don't think it was as glowing as any of yours. I certainly enjoyed this game, but it wasn't one that I was like always wanting to play. Certainly Mega Man X, and there's some other Legend of Zelda. Those would be higher on my want to play
the
this.
weapons, the swords,
Exactly.
the guns.
Yeah. Geez, come on now.
my
let me shoot these Koopas in the face.
I'll go and play Super Mario RPG. At least Mario's got a hammer.
There you go. Yeah, and Gino has guns, gun hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Toads and Princess Peach has a frying pan.
Yeah, see,
And Bowser's your friend and not your enemy.
Lots of pluses. But it'll be interesting to see any of those predictions pan out in our final rating. But first, let's get into the things we liked most about Super Mario World, as opposed to Super Mario RPG. Travis?
Best bits.
And we're going to begin with Ashley. Thank you, Paul. What's one thing you liked about Super Mario World?
I think I already talked about it when I was telling you what I thought what my initial rating was going to be, just based on how well the graphics have held up, just how beautiful and colorful it is. And we played it on the Switch, so it was a port of that game, but it still looks beautiful, regardless of what hardware you're playing it on. And I have it on original. It still looks good. It's one of those few games where you play Super Mario RPG on original hardware, it don't look good. That game does not look good. And it needed a remake. Super Mario World does not, because they made it in that classic, beautiful 16-bit style. The music sounds good. The graphics look good. The only time it looks a little wonky is when you're on Yoshi on the world map and they look a little derp. But beyond that, everything is just clean and good. And yeah, it looks wonderful.
Now that you bring that up, most navigational screens on maps, the characters look a little derp.
They do look a little derp, but they're still fun and intriguing, and I just love the little details and just how colorful and just how well it's aged. It still is clean and crisp. You can't say the same thing about a lot of Super Nintendo games, especially when you're playing them on the Switch or playing them on a non-CRT TV, and you're like, that's not very good looking, but this game still looks good.
It's still so pretty.
It's so pretty.
Really, 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 really ridiculously good looking.
Okay.
I don't know about that much, but
okay. All right. I know this is no Zoolander game. I gotcha. And I may have more to say about the graphics later, but let's go to Paul next. Were the graphics something you enjoyed, or was there something else that made your like list?
I enjoyed the graphics, but one of the things that I really like about and still like about this game is there's so many hidden exits to some of the levels that reveal hidden paths along the map.
Are there ever more than two? I know the red ones say that essentially are telling you that there's multiple, at least two, but are there any that have three exits?
I want to say yes.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple that might have three, but don't quote me on it. But I can look that up for you in my official strategy guide.
Do you still have that, Paul?
I honestly don't know.
Oh.
If I do, it's buried in a box somewhere.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a collector's item.
Yeah.
But, okay, so you like that there's multiple exits?
Yeah, it just opens up this world, the Super Mario World, even more so.
Yeah.
So it's more than what it appears. So that's really fun to explore.
Awesome. So Paul loved that Super Mario World was a transformer. That got it. For me, this is very similar though to what you were saying, Paul. I really like the option that you could just like get a feather from the top secret area as long as you knew how to unlock it. You get a feather and you could just fly through a lot of the levels and get to the end without having to mess with any of them. Okay, I get it, Paul.
You're flying through the level. It's not my fault.
It's flying through this podcast.
And going through the goal without having to worry about any enemies or getting hit. But then you do miss out on a lot of the secret exits. Yeah. And so there is a reason to go back and try to play the level a little bit more meticulously and look for pipes or what have you. So, I definitely liked how they...
Collecting the Yoshi coins along the way. See if you can find them all.
Sure. I didn't care as much about that, but...
What's this, another life? Jeez, I already have 99 of them.
But I thought it was nice that it didn't feel like there was extra like added on. You know how games can artificially inflate their size by I don't know, just making secrets that are really hard to get to or really obtuse. Oh, now you have to go through 3 more mini levels to get to the level you really want. It's just, I thought with this, there was usually, I think, just 2 exits, maybe 3, like you said, but they weren't terribly hard to get to. You just had to do a little bit of searching to find most of them. So I like that about this game. Ashley, what's something else that you were able to find that you liked about this game?
Oh, absolutely. I think it was the attention to detail that the game designers included in the game. And I even commented on this when we were playing the other day. Anytime your sprite would jump, the hat would come off of his head ever so slightly.
Yes.
Also, when Mario would fly, he would hold the corner of his cape. So all these little details paired in. I even think of like the overworld map when you're on Yoshi. And you've got the front view. You can see all of them. It looks a little derp, but just the intricate detail that depending on which way your sprite is facing, you can see like the full body. And other little details like when certain things are getting blown up, that little mountain gets the Band-Aid.
Yes.
And there's
Love
just
that.
and I also think of like attention to detail, like how it had all of these like homages to past games. I think of the sunken ghost ship, which is the previous airship from Super Mario Brothers 3. I love those little details. Because I'm like, someone thought of all these little things that if you're paying attention, you're going to catch these things. And it was just really cool to see. Back in the day, I played a lot more Super Mario Bros. 3 because I would play a lot more of the original Nintendo than the Super because my brother was always playing this system.
Okay.
So I would play the older one. But my goodness, just the callbacks and the attention to details and just how much attention was given. Like even the colors of the different Yoshis doing different things, the colors of the different shells. It's just all in the details. And I feel like they were so well thought out and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and that sort of dovetails into my next like, which is I loved the different power-ups in this game, and it wasn't all lopsided just on Mario. You got different power-ups based on for Yoshi. He got different power-ups based on the shell he would get, and then I really liked the feather was like my go-to power-up. The flower power was fine. I think a little bit more useful certainly in underwater levels. But definitely enjoyed. Those two, and just being able to store an extra power up though at the top was so nice. So really enjoyed the power ups in this. Paul, what's really powered this game up for you?
I that's exactly the same for me.
Wow.
The power ups. In fact, the feather / cape is probably my favorite power up of all of the Mario games.
Yes.
It's just fun to fly. It's better
than the Tanuki suit.
Yeah. I love the Tanuki suit.
Yeah.
I think it's fun to turn into a statue, like Tanuki all the way. I'm not trying to downplay it, but just playability, it's a little more intuitive with the cape. So,
absolutely.
I really enjoy the power-ups all the way, man.
Ashley, did you have a favorite power-up?
The cape. It was really cool to see. There were things that were in this game that it was just cool to see because it didn't exist anywhere else, but I missed some of the things from Super Mario Bros. 3. I missed the frog suit.
So Pastor Dustin brings something up in chat and I'm curious if any of the previous Mario games they addressed. How can Mario shoot fireballs underwater?
You shouldn't be able to. It's an anomaly. Fire is...
It's hot enough that it steams the water. You can't see it though, but it would be. Yeah, it's kind of like if a meteorite hits the ocean, it's not gonna. It's gone because water beats fire.
Because
there's momentum. There's a heat intensity that's actually hotter than the water.
All right, fine.
It's a super powered fire.
But so, like you were saying though, Ashley, you would have liked to have seen the frog suit back.
I just enjoyed the frog suit.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the frog
suit.
Yeah, there were just so many cool things in that iteration.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So it would have been cool to see more of those callbacks because the sunken airship, that was super duper fun.
Yes.
Why couldn't we have had? Granted, we got a whole extra thing with Yoshi, but maybe they felt like that was enough.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. Well, guys, those are some great things we liked about this, and let's really dive in and say what we loved most about Super Mario World. Paul, I'm going to send it over to you. What's your most favorite thing about this game?
Oops. The power up the feather
was
mine. I accidentally said that for my second. So let me go back. My second one that I liked a little bit less than that was actually how Yoshi. I thought it was intuitive. Not only is he's just like an animal to ride on, like on Donkey Kong Country, but he has different abilities depending on what color shell the turtle that he swallowed, or the color Yoshi that you had. So I thought that was really cool too. Not only just do you have a Yoshi, but it can do different things depending on what. It's kind of like Kirby, you know.
And so let me see if, and I want to make sure I get this. So if you had essentially the green Yoshi, your basic Yoshi, the shell would dictate what it did, and if you had a colored Yoshi, that color dictated whatever shell you got, it would do one thing, right? Like.
Sort of.
Oh,
it did like a combo. Let's say if you had a blue Yoshi, that if you put a shell in your mouth, you could fly. But if you put a red shell in your mouth, you could fly, and then when you let go, it would spit the fireballs. A yellow shell, you could fly, but then you'd also have the combo of stomping. So it had the potential to have a combo.
Yeah, but like if you had a yellow Yoshi, you would always get the stomping regardless. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, well, I never got the yellow
like a
Yoshi
blue,
in this last play.
The red, you would always get the
fire breath.
Fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
If that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense to me.
Go ahead.
What was it? Was that it? The Yoshi power ups, or was that other like you had?
Two, and my number one is the cape.
Gotcha. Ashley, what was Yoshi your classmate, or was it something else?
It actually was the combination of those two things.
Oh, okay.
So Yoshi and the power-ups were actually my favorite element of this game.
Aww.
I just thought as a little kid, like Yoshi was the cutest little thing ever. And I, as a full-grown woman, I still think that Yoshi is the cutest thing ever. And you know me, I like to always go,
yes.
because it's just super, super fun.
All right.
And it's just super fun to say Yoshi, and I can't help it. They're just all the different colored Yoshis, all the little teeny bitty eggs. And, I played a lot of Yoshi's Island as a kid. So I have such a soft spot for this little dino. And he's like a dog for Mario, except he's a dinosaur, except he's better because you can ride him and he's just adorable.
I'm sorry to do this to you, Ashley, but I'm going to have to give you a cute off. Yoshi or Kirby?
Yoshi. I'm sorry.
More than Kirby? Really?
I mean, I enjoy Kirby, but Kirby is more my brother's thing. I mean,
okay.
the guy even dressed up as Kirby for Halloween when he was in like 4th grade.
Oh, that's cool.
I've got pictures. My mom made the costume from scratch.
That's awesome.
Yoshi would win just by a smidge.
All right.
I agree.
But Kirby is awesome. I like Kirby games, but I think I would rather play Yoshi's Island more so than Kirby games.
But I'm cuter than Yoshi, right? I'll take that as a yes.
Sure.
Well, then, guys, that leaves my classic maker. And it's something I think you both sort of spoke to a little bit. And that's this game is so beautiful to the eyes and beautiful to the ears. Thank
you for bringing up the song.
All the
I
different
wanted to
remixes. So good.
Yeah, essentially, Koji Kondo essentially used the same, I guess, chord progression in all the themes.
He did.
It was just instrumentation was different and minor key or major key. And it just was really beautiful to listen to. It was so fun and memorable. And I also really enjoyed just adding on to the graphics. The world colors were so vibrant and there was so much variability. Yes.
Were they so pretty?
That's a callback to some older streams. Good podcast listener. But yes, they were so pretty.
Good.
I wouldn't say they're as pretty as Greek what was it called? Greek I forget what the name is, but yes, it is very pretty. I hesitate to say it's prettier than Yoshi's Island, Super Mario World 2.
It's not. The hand-drawn backgrounds in that game is just so charming in its own way. I mean, maybe, but this game kind of like, it set the stage.
Yes,
it set the stage for Super Mario World
2,
Yoshi's Island.
And I am a little disappointed that we didn't play. So me and Ashley did play through to roll credits, but we got to one level in Star Road. We didn't do anything else. We just played sort of straight through all the worlds to Bowser's Castle. We didn't do a lot of the extra stuff. So I would have liked to have seen the autumn remapping and stuff and seen that. When you beat it that way, Paul, does it actually give you a different ending?
I don't recall. It's
Okay.
been a while.
Oh, okay. So
I just know that at first I liked to do the autumn thing just because it was so different, but then the colors weren't as fun. So I beat the Star Roads, but then I don't go over to the autumn just because I like to. Yeah,
that's fair. Do you how far did you get in this playthrough? I'm curious, Paul.
So I did the as soon as I could get on the Star Road, I did, except for that little area off the castle where you can just fill up on Yoshi and lives. I hopped on the Star Road and went to Bowser that way, finished it off, and then I just started playing it through the normal way, like you and Ashley did, and I got to I think the castle on 4 and stopped.
Okay, nice.
Just because time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, cool, guys. Yeah, lots of great stuff about Super Mario World, but there's probably some not so great stuff that we gotta get to. So let's wait. What?
What now? He's not going to let you forget about that.
Not quite. Not talking about the music. The music was great, just like we were
I thought that was your favorite song.
No, that was my favorite song. I think of them, I like the cavern music. I'll
tell you what, as soon as they turn the game on and the sound effect goes ring, and then it starts playing the music, just the first time, I was like, oh, this is nostalgic.
Yes.
The sound at the end of every level when it's like,
yeah,
and it gives the piece at the end.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
iconic to me.
So good. Less iconic, but something I like that I wanted to share with you guys was Junkyard Juggernauts.
What?
A warlord has taken the king and queen prisoner, and their only hope is you and the junkyard. Junkyard Juggernauts is a pixel art infused tabletop card game for 1 to 4 players, designed by Francisco Ruiz. Hey, that's me. You will play as a Mageneer, drafting cards to build the arms and legs of a magic-fueled mech, aka a Juggernaut, before taking on the warlord. With an expected Kickstarter in 2024, there is still plenty of work to be done on Junkyard Juggernauts, and you can stay in the know by signing up to their newsletter at junkyardjuggernauts.com.
That's great, Francisco, but what does Junkyard Juggernauts have to do with Super Mario World?
Well, they're both games, Paul. They're both fun games.
Oh,
That's
really?
an incredibly loose connection.
Whose side are you guys on?
And we haven't gone over our dislikes yet, so I don't know.
But I just like that connection because it was not good enough. But I digress.
Hey.
I can dislike that, right? Can that be our lead-in?
No, guys, because I thought you would react this way. So how about some trivia about Super Mario World?
Okay. Try to save yourself.
Okay, I will save myself with this. Did you all realize that the inspiration for Yoshi can be tracked back to when Shigeru Miyamoto designed a green dragon for the 1984 game Devil World, which was on the NES, I believe. And this dragon shared many similarities with Yoshi.
Yeah, I read somewhere that he'd been wanting to introduce it since the early Nintendo games,
Yeah,
but there wasn't enough memory or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But my question to you guys is, if you could choose any other animal or vehicle as a mount for Mario in this game, Super Mario World, what would you have chosen? Let's start with Ashley.
Always going to me first with these evil things. So something we hadn't seen in a really, really, really long time. I'm thinking back to like Super Mario Land, where he had like a mini airship, maybe like spaceship.
Yeah, the little airplane.
The little airplane spaceship. I can't recall exactly what it was.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, if Bowser can have a big boss airship in Super
Clown
Mario
thing,
Brothers 3.
That. Yes,
I'm talking if Bowser can have a big bad airship, not his little clown copter creepy thing that makes me just giggle. Mario can go back to his little plane and he can shoot Bowser down in his little thing instead of having to take the little what are they? The Mecha Bowsers, the little wind-up
I
toy
think that's
thingies?
what they were. They're called something like that.
Yeah, just shoot them down with your plane, Mario. You're both in flying contraptions. Do that instead.
Oh, I would have been down for that. Paul, how about you?
If I were to change it so that Mario could mount another animal,
Or vehicle,
I would change the different colored Yoshis to other colored dinosaurs. So the green Yoshi can be the green Yoshi, but like the blue Yoshi, change that to a blue pterodactyl. So that whenever he rides it, it flies whatever it eats, or like the yellow could be like a triceratops or some other.
That'd
what I mean?
Fun, yes.
Yeah. So you have these other dinosaurs that you could also potentially ride that have these power-ups.
Absolutely.
Kind of
Do you think that Mario could tame the little dino torch, the one that breathes fire, and just use that one? No.
The dino? Oh, the little blue guy.
little
That
blue
one blue.
yeah.
Yes. That shoots fire out of his mouth. Yeah. That'd be
I
fun.
thought you were talking about the ones that
Tame
come
him.
out of the lava.
No.
Oh no, not that guy. Blarg.
Blargo.
Blarg.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't want to ride him. He'd burn you down. That's not a good idea. No, but tame the little one that breathes fire. Be like, Mario's tiny. He could ride that teeny tiny little.
Exactly.
Or Birdo and go around shooting eggs.
Yeah, Birdo.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah. You're on my side now, Birdo.
All right. Great trivia, Francisco.
Thank you, Paul.
And now that we've all had some trivial fun, let's find out what memories you, our awesome rewinders, had about Super Mario World.
By the way, Mel Slug would have been the vehicle I would have chosen. But Brian Minto.
Tank?
Yes, that's right.
All right,
Had
if
some
Ashley can have an
firepower
airplane, I
tomorrow.
guess you can just plow through Super
That's
Mario
actually a
World with
thought that
tank.
I did have. I thought it
Oh,
would be
really?
really cool to do that, but then I'm like, I've never seen that. That doesn't seem practical in a Mario game. But
Right.
let me
That's what I
revisit.
thought, like,
let me revisit something that's already been done. Let's just bring it back.
Fine, guys.
That
Fine.
sounds
with
like
your
a-
practicality.
That sounds like something that Bowser would use to
Yeah, I
destroy
see
Mario World.
Bowser
not-
more likely to use that than Mario.
All right, let's get to your memories.
But it's the Mushroom Kingdom Army. Yeah, let's do that.
Brian Minto says, the first game I can remember absolutely blowing me away. It still feels so fresh when you play it today. Will always be fairly high on the list of my favorite games of all time.
Matthew Cosby says, I absolutely love this game. My favorite Mario game.
Ooh. Celeste Morris says, I've beaten the first island so many times. The whole game, not so much.
Yeah, been there. It's a struggle. Nathan James Norman says, this is one of the best games of all time.
Whoa.
Memorable music, excellent controls, inventive level design, a fun world map with secrets, and Yoshi. I have a Christmas ornament of this game on my tree right now.
Whoa. Michael
It's
Fraley.
so weird for people listening to this in like June.
I didn't think about that. Mike Fraley says, oh, the hours I put into this game. I got it for Christmas back in 1991. At the time, it felt like it distilled all of what had made Mario so fun in the past while expanding with new abilities. So much replay value. It's probably still my favorite Mario game.
Eric Purcell says, I remember playing through the game on an old black and white television.
Really? Oh, weird.
I loved it so much that once we moved it to a modern colored television, I played through the game again.
Oh, wow. Wardale White says, being thankful that I even had the opportunity to be blessed to get a Super Nintendo, the game was a plus. Well, the game came with the machine. I remember having fun with the game, but I didn't play it very much for interest toward other games would take more of my attention.
Oh, by the way, I want to revisit something that Ashley said earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Ashley, you said this was the number one game because of it came packaged with the Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
The number two game also came packaged with
It was the Super Mario World and Super Mario All-Stars.
It was the Super Mario All-Stars. Yeah.
Okay, because that, when we finally did get our Super Nintendo, that was the one that we had.
Oh,
we
okay.
had the dual Super Mario World with Super Mario All-Stars, and that's
Nice.
how I played a lot of the original games
okay.
once I got familiar with the SNES. Yeah.
Very
Nice.
cool.
Pack-ins, baby.
Apparently.
So Drew Dodgen says, wait, it's my turn, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
You're fine.
Drew Dodgens. That's how you pronounce his name, right?
Yes, good job. You finally
All
got
right.
it.
Yay.
Drew Dodgens says.
Oh my God.
Call back.
Drew Dodgen says, I used to play this a lot at my next door neighbor's house back in the day. Everything from the sound of the bongos being added to the music when I jumped on Yoshi's back to all the secret areas, and even still to do this day getting lost in the forest of illusion. This game has it all. It was the first Super Mario game I ever beat and still my favorite classic Super Mario game.
Oh, cool.
That being said, classic Hedgehog beats Plumber any day. Sonic 2 for the win. Genesis does what Nintendo don't.
Wow.
Whoosh.
Shots fired.
Sega.
Stephen Forrester says, although I was a diehard SNES kid for several years, I've never played this game. I grew up playing Super Mario All-Stars after playing the originals on the NES, and somehow didn't even know about this game until after I sold my SNES. Missed out on a good one from what I hear.
Yeah, you did.
Well, stay tuned to the end
Yeah.
so you
Don't,
find out.
don't worry, we might rate this a tragic. Then you have nothing lost there, Stephen.
Sure.
Yeah. All these people with nostalgia goggles
Nothing
on.
ventured, nothing gained. Whoosh.
Jeremy Shields says, I think when I got my SNES used, I didn't get this game. I got Street Fighter 2, and that was all for a while. And first went after Legend of Zelda 3, and Metroid 3. By this time, I learned that I'm not good at platform jumping games, and even worse at platform jumping in 3D games.
Uh-huh.
So not your cup of tea.
And then David Babo Bobke says, possibly my favorite video game of all time. What? Just about as good as a video game could be in the early 90s. The one game I can speedrun under 15 minutes, not that impressive.
Yeah.
How'd you beat this in 15 minutes?
Like I did the Star Road, like I beat it in about 30 minutes. So that's impressive.
Jeez. That is impressive. I remember beating this one several times before I found where Torpedo Ted was. Who's Torpedo Ted?
You know, that one guy from Super Mario World.
Oh yeah, thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
That upper bridge, Butter Bridge, or was it the cheese bridge where he was? I don't know. Whatever. I wonder if you guys wish you could build a bridge and get
Sorry,
over
Torpedo Ted is the long bullet bill.
Oh, okay. Whatever. I wonder if you guys wish you could build a bridge and get over some bad aspects of this game. Actually, that's a lie. There's no bad parts of this game. Just skip the dislikes and rate this a classic. Wow. Wow, Bobo. Unfortunately, we got to stick to our guns and go to the things we didn't like about Super Mario World. Travis, let's get going.
Worst whoops.
All right, I'll start things off. You people and your love for games. Here's something to be aware of that you may not know. So I actually just found this out for the first time with me and Ashley playing together. But if Luigi beats a castle, the text still reads that Mario beat it. I mean, you could say Mario and Luigi. You could just expand it, or
is Luigi's last name Mario? So technically, it's still correct.
No,
It's
I'm
Mario
sorry.
Mario,
no,
Luigi Mario?
No,
No.
that doesn't count.
No.
I don't. Did they have that as a premise by this point, or I thought that just came out with the movie?
I don't know.
I'm just guessing. So,
Regardless.
I didn't play 2-player this time. I'm curious. So normally when if you beat a level, when you replay it, you can hit start and select and it'll exit without you having to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
So
did that.
if the 2-player person beats the level, can the 1-player go in and press start select to exit, or do they have to beat it too?
No,
No,
they don't have to beat
they
it.
don't have to beat
They
it.
don't have
Cool.
to beat
Yeah.
it. No, we did
Well,
that
then-
a couple of times actually.
Then that negates that covers up your dislike.
How does it cover up my dislike?
Hey, Francisco, I know that's a
Makes up
dislike,
for it.
but they still had the right Mario brother in the graphic. I mean, the text was wrong, but the graphic was right.
Oh, they still showed Luigi.
yeah, they
up
still
there?
they showed Luigi up
Oh,
there.
I didn't notice that.
and
Okay.
and here it may have read the wrong text, but it showed that it was your character that won. So how can it was mostly right.
That's even worse because now the game knows it's Luigi, but they're mocking me by having
Yeah,
to say Mario.
they're mocking you, which makes it even better.
What? How dare
Maybe in Japan they're both called Mario.
Yeah.
Maybe. I guess that could be.
Yes.
So it's a translation thing.
Mario and Mario.
All your base belongs to Mario. Okay.
Yes.
Let's go.
Eventually.
Let's go to Ashley. What's something you didn't like?
Oh my gosh. So many of the things that people have talked about liking are things that I don't like.
Oh, really? Okay. You hate the music. It's the worst music ever.
No. I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed that. I'm not a type of person who likes to explore.
Oh, okay.
So while this game rewards you for exploring with different secret areas, levels, etc., I'm an incredibly linear game player, and I like
you
to.
must hate some of those ghost houses then.
I made Francisco do every single ghost house. So
Yep.
I was player 1, he was player 2. So anytime a ghost house would happen, usually what I would do is I would play the level before and then be like, oh, it's your turn. Oh, look, it's a ghost house. It's your turn. And he ended
Don't
up
die.
Yeah. Or I would like play to a certain point and then I would just purposely die and then he would have to do it. So I wasn't a big fan of really having to be challenged in a lot of ways. I like to just follow the map and from start to finish. And I wasn't able to do that all the time. And I'm not, it rewards you, but it didn't feel like a reward to me. It felt like a punishment. But that's just my own personal game style. I understand that what I dislike is what so many people enjoy.
No, that's totally.
I'm an outlier.
And I think with this game you can play it that way. You don't have to explore everything, and I like that there's that. You have that
the
option.
ghost houses.
Okay, except the ghost houses, yes, and the Forest of Illusion. They do make sort of pigeonhole you there, but it's not like throughout the game the whole time.
Yeah.
So, but that's totally fair, Ashley.
Well, listen up, developers. Make the changes.
Exactly.
I can
Appeal to everyone.
Yeah, I can go back and play other games that are incredibly linear, and I don't have to do that. So
Yeah. Mario Lost Levels.
Paul, what did this game lose for you? Lose on for you. Lose out on for you. So what? Yeah. What did you like?
One of the things, like I said, I did the Star Roads first, and then I went back. So I liked going back with all the different colored Yoshis, and I was shocked at how many turtles there were. Like everywhere. Like almost every level had turtles, and lots of them, especially at the beginning. And so which is great if you're looking for one. If you're one of the colored Yoshis looking for a particular kind or whatever. That's great, but there were so many opportunities. It kind of, then it hit me, and like there needs to be more variety of bad guys.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, there is a good amount, but there
is, and there's some creative new ones, especially as you go through with the rock levels in the forest.
Yeah,
and
but it's a missed opportunity because when you get to the credits, there's so many different type of enemies, and there's so many that are just in specific type of levels pockets. Like there were ones that we saw in roll credits were like, we never saw that. It was probably in a secret level or another like world or something. Like we never saw that. When did that show up? Oh yeah, we never saw that.
There's so many turtles everywhere. You could bring back the Shy Guys. You could bring back so many of the other from previous Mario enemies. They don't have to create all new ones, you know what I mean? But they have more variety.
They did have some callback though. Like there was the little like jumping ninja guy in some of the dungeons. That was fun to see.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Yeah, from the
I'm not knocking
2, right?
Yeah, that guy's from 2.
Yeah. I'm not knocking the ones that they used. I'm just saying, let's bring back some more.
What about those fun little like Bowser statues that shot fire? Those were so fun.
And like I think what Paul you're just saying
less turtles,
more other things, and this wasn't this almost made my dislike. Those little peach apple things with eyes are not Goombas.
No, they're not.
My mushroom Goombas, please.
Those aren't Goombas.
Come on.
Those look like little buggy bugs.
Yeah, I don't know. How dare you call them Goombas?
Well, and what I'm saying is like you don't have to fill up the levels with more villains. I mean, you already have enough characters,
utilize
bad
them better.
guys in there. Just swap them out with different ones.
Yeah, exactly.
What if they were just color swaps?
What if they were just colors?
Color swapped. What if they were just color
like the Foot Clan and TMNT Arcade? Oh, look, there's purple ones. There's white ones. There's
no.
yellow ones.
They did that with the turtles. Some are red, some are yellow. No,
Yeah.
Don't do
Doesn't
that.
count.
don't color swap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me my puffy paratrooper guy from Super Mario RPG.
You mean Tubbo Trooper?
Tubbo Trooper,
Tubbo
yes,
Trooper,
exactly.
I love him. He's the best.
What is not the best for you, Ashley? Not your tragic maker though, but something else you don't like.
Oh my gosh. Just the strategy that some levels really made you utilize. I am not a strategic platformer, and timing was of the essence in so many levels, and if you do not have time, you will die.
Yep.
Many.
So you want infinite time? Then you will not die.
No,
and you'll be stuck there
no,
forever.
because you need to make sure that you're so strategic in your timing, because like you'll either die or you'll run out of time. Where
Right.
I can give you an example where timing is of the essence. It was like the 6th world going to Wendy, and it was the only castle level that I did. And I was going through, and the levels are going up and down, and you have to time it right or you get squished. And then I made it all the way to the boss with 5 seconds on the clock, and then I died before I even got to fight. Before I even got to fight the boss.
Yeah.
And I got very frustrated,
Yes.
and I swear that was the closest to destroying a D-pad that I ever would have gotten. And I will say, if we were playing on original hardware, I probably would have broken the Super Nintendo controller, but we were playing on Switch, and we utilized Rewind a lot.
Yes, we did.
And even using Rewind, I would rewind, and then I would immediately die because I would be in a
You only had
spot
5
that was,
seconds left.
yeah, it was terrible. So the strategic timing, and I have not learned how to master timing and getting exactly where you need to be. And there was a lot of times where it was just incredibly difficult to find where I needed to go. And I made Francisco so nervous sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
Because I would like get close to an edge, and then I would just land on a ledge, and then I would keep doing it. And it looked like I was going to die again and again and again. But then
she kept surviving.
I kept
somehow.
surviving.
Like,
and
how
then,
are you doing this?
And then I died from like the next thing. The second, a second
Your
after.
luck ran out.
It's like my luck ran out, or the timer ran out, and I just continually died, and I kept rewinding and restarting, and it didn't matter. But my gosh.
So if you were Cher, would you turn back time?
Yes, I would. PaulJPowers.com.
Gosh.
Yes, I would turn back time. I would.
Hey,
Wow.
If I could find a way.
speaking of strategy, Francisco, you asked if there were some levels that had 3 exits.
Oh, yeah.
According to online, none of the levels have 3 exits except one. There's technically on Chocolate Island 2, but 2 of them lead you to the same exit, and the game only counts it as the same one, if that makes sense. So there are 3 exits technically on that level, but the game only counts it as 2, if that makes sense. Oh, Commissioner Gordon says is looking for Batman, by the way.
Gary Oldman's trying to call.
Oh my gosh.
What?
You know what? And I'm
Well, that's
Paul, that
my
actually
favorite.
I don't oh my gosh. I can't recall if that level you're talking about is the one that actually is my next dislike. And it's that I still can't figure out how there's one level that is on Chocolate Island, but there's like a little info box at the beginning that says how many points you get or how many coins you collect will dictate how you do in this level or something. I still don't know. To this day, I have no idea what that means. I'm like,
Have you Googled it?
no, but
How many points?
it's either points or coins that you collect will actually.
Do you care enough about points and coins in this game?
No,
you have so many.
I don't. But that's the
then
thing.
why are you bringing it up? Why waste your time?
Why put in a mechanic like that if you're not going to make it somewhat obvious what you're trying to go for? Like, hey, go for 100 coins. I wonder if you go for 100 coins in this level, what will happen? It's
Oh, they
something
don't
like
get-
that.
Then why
Yeah,
don't you
too
go back
vague.
and try to see if something happens? if you're
Because
so
I'll
frustrated?
never know what threshold I'm trying to go for. It's like mining
That's
in a
what
mountain for
Google's
gold. I'm
for.
like,
Yeah,
I could
not
push
I-
it right there. I don't know.
I wonder if the strategy guide knows.
Well, I'm sure the strategy guide knows, but then what's the point of me trying if the strategy guide already knows?
Well, you could always Google it. I'm sure someone could tell you.
Yes, but I want the game to give me a hint so I can do it myself.
I think it did.
It did.
It says it's points or coins.
Okay, a better hint then.
Oh, a bigger hint. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The game's too
goodness.
vague for you. Okay.
Exactly.
Your frustration is tragic.
Oh my gosh. Okay. PaulJPirates.com. What's something else
Yo.
you didn't like before we get to our tragic makers?
There's a little bit too much sliding around, especially after landing. I don't know how Ashley didn't fall off, but it seemed like a lot of like running and then landing
Mhm.
wasn't as precise as
You would have
or maybe I'm just bad
Well, I mean,
and I'd
that
fall
could
off too
be.
much.
Oh,
I feel like I
died so much.
feel like
Yeah.
I got a little bit of that, Paul, but I didn't feel like I had too much of
It's
that. what
not
you're
a
talking about.
lot. Like there are definitely worse games.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
But the amount of sliding I did, I mean, and not in like the ice or the under wherever it was supposed to be slippery. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it just made it. I know it's like, oh, so you don't want it too challenging, okay, baby. But you
It
know,
was challenging enough for me.
yeah, no, some of the controls didn't feel as precise as they could have been. At least that's how
Yeah.
it felt to me.
No, I get
Yeah.
that. You know what would have helped? You know what would have helped with that, Paul? If
What?
there are more precise tool tips about what you should be doing. I'm kidding.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Let's get really precise though with our tragic makers for Super Mario World. What we hated the most about this game. I'll go ahead and kick us off. And as we're having this review, I'm sort of starting to recall from our first time we did this episode back before Jared took all our memories that this was a very similar thing that was spoken to. But I don't like how easy all the Koopaling bosses were at the end of the castles. I want you to, if the first two are easy, that's fine. But I want you to ramp up difficulty, whether it's either they're just more hits to hit each one or something. They're pretty easy, each one of them, until you get to Bowser, which takes a lot more hits. And I like how he has a few different
6
phases.
hits.
That's cool. 6?
6.
I thought he-
Two for each phase.
That's still
Oh, okay, yeah.
double the amount of hits you have
Yeah.
That's still double the amount of hits that the Koopalings
Yeah.
get.
So, and it should have been way more than that then. But
I that is also my tragic maker.
Really?
I thought
Oh, wow.
actually Koopa was too easy myself
Uh-huh.
because
a Bowser
and-
or which the Koopalings or
sorry, Bowser Koopa. I don't know what people call him, the main
King
bad
Koopa.
guy.
No, oh,
even
yeah,
after
Ba-
even
If
with
you're in
6
Japan,
hits,
he's King Koopa.
oh really? I didn't think I knew that.
So even I even with 6 hits, I thought he was too easy. But
Mhm.
you also want to make it easier. I understand the game makers want to make it easier for kids who've spent all their their summer leading up to this, and then they can't beat it because it's so hard before school starts.
Yeah.
So what I wish that they would do is that, and Nintendo doesn't do this, I don't know why, but have a difficulty level setting. So
Mm.
like maybe the levels can be straight through for the beginners, like what Ashley was saying. So it's not as difficult to solve some
Yeah.
of the levels, or the bosses are harder or something to make it even more challenging for
Yeah.
people who who
Or-
want more of a challenge.
Or even like have we're not really sure about this, but if you play on the autumn version, maybe all the bosses are a lot more harder on that.
Yeah.
So that way you can do something more if you want
You're
to.
gonna have to
Yeah,
test
that's a
that
good point.
theory.
Yeah. But yeah, that's an excellent tragic maker, Paul.
Yeah.
Because it agrees with yours.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
that
great,
helps. For
Great,
sure.
great minds. Great
Exactly.
minds.
Great minds dislike alike.
And I was gonna say, Nintendo has gotten better about their difficulty. I mean, if you look at the remake of Super Mario RPG, another wonderful game, there's actually 2 different modes. There's a breezy
Oh,
mode
yeah,
for
that's
people who
right.
need baby mode like
Yeah.
me, and then there's normal. Maybe they need a hard mode for like the hardcore gamers that want a real
that's right.
challenge.
Legendary
But
mode.
there's at least 2 modes there, and that's a Nintendo made game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that just
Yeah,
came
so
out
that's good.
a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe if they ever did like a
Super
we're
Mario
we're
World
well
redo or
past the
something.
30th anniversary of this
Yeah.
game. So maybe like when we get to like 40 or something, they'll do something fun and be like, we're gonna re-release Super Mario World, and it's gonna have like 5 different, like like a level 1 mode where you have to just, you don't get any power ups and you just have to figure it out.
No, go ahead, Ashley.
It would just be fun to see, but
They should have like all the crazy people in Super Mario Maker have all the hardest levels, and that's your Super Mario World. But Book of Gaming brings up a good point in chat here. He says the game producer said that they made the invisible blocks so that the players can choose a difficulty. If you want a game to be easier, then you can find all the invisible blocks. If you want it to be harder, then you don't have to. Here's the thing, though.
you have to
Book of
find
Gaming,
them.
the levels themselves, especially those castles, definitely ramped up in difficulty.
Yeah,
the
they
challenge
did.
of getting through the level. But at the boss, I want that to be the pinnacle, maximal difficult experience, so I have the most satisfaction from overcoming that.
And when you die, you start all the way over at beginning level 1 again. No.
Well, I don't want it to be that bad. No.
You don't want that. You don't want that.
But that's a fair point, Book of Gaming. All right, Ashley, that leaves you. What was your tragic maker for this game?
It definitely wasn't that.
Okay.
It definitely wasn't like wanting the final bosses
To be harder.
to be harder. I mean, I didn't face any of them. So
No, I thought you beat one of them.
I
or-
did. I
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
I did. I beat one of them, and I
Yeah.
can't remember which one it was.
Ludwig or Lenny, one of those. But
No, it was Lemmy.
Lemmy. Okay.
Lemmy, is that which one it was? No. So the thing that was tragic to me, making me actually repeat levels in the Forest of Illusion and find those dang secret exits. Don't make me do it. How dare you force my hand? I do not like it when games make me do something I don't want to do.
Yeah.
So for
It's
me,
amazing how the game is making you play.
well, I'll happily play it, but dang it, don't make me go back through the level trying to find something so I can open another path. The map is supposed to be there. I don't like things that have words like illusion. You're playing tricks on me, game. I don't like it.
That's fair.
And that's
very
enough.
fair.
Because I'm not an exploratory player. I don't care about the secret things.
Yeah.
That's a big thing for people, and I can understand why they would like it and be like, this is challenging because I have to find the exit so I can open this pathway that will lead me out of the forest. I'm like, nope. So I don't like it. I don't
That's
like
fair.
it. I didn't play any of the ghost houses. I made Francisco do every last one of those. And anytime, with the exception of like one level where he knew where the secret exit was and just walked me through doing it, I made him do all the complicated stuff. I'm like, nope, I just like the linear stuff. I don't usually play platformers because I don't. It's too much time for me.
Yeah,
Even though
that's fair.
these speed runs say 15 minutes, I'm like, had I gone back and explored, it wouldn't have taken me like 5 hours of gameplay, which is like the average time for people. I probably would have been in this game for like 15 plus hours because my gameplay mode is molasses. And I probably would have destroyed numerous D-pads if I went looking for all those secret exits.
Buy stock and D-pads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, buy stock.
Book of Gaming. Francisco wants a Dark Souls experience at the end of every Super Mario World level. Yeah, I do. Give me that, please. But that's totally fair, actually. And
Dark Souls experience. Is that where you celebrate the death of Auntie? Or
Dark Souls it was a game. It's become a game sort of archetype now, where it's really, really hard, challenging, hard games. Paul, that's essentially what a Dark Souls.
Yeah,
game
no,
is.
no, thank you. I will take baby mode anytime. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. That's one of the things I like, that we got to play 2 players, Ashley, and we got to continue. Like, if you took a level, it would advance us both, and that was a really nice thing to play in 2 players. Though I would have loved if it was co-op in some way. I don't know how they would have done that.
I don't know
they
how they
are
would have.
now, all right?
Yes, they are now, but
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. This was before then.
exactly. But regardless, we've entered all our trajectories into the firing computer. Travis, do you have a firing solution for us?
Firing solution complete. Salvo authority accepted. Ratings prepared to launch.
All right, it's time for the moment of truth. Do we rate Super Mario World a classic? We'd recommend anyone go out and play it, whether or not you've played it before. A nostalgic, if you remember enjoying playing it as a kid or young adult, then yeah, seek it out. It's on, I think it's on Nintendo's, Nintendo Switch Online. There's probably other places you could probably seek it out. Yeah, give it a play. But if you've never played it before, don't waste your time with it. Or do we rate it a tragic? It's worth no one's time today. If you've never played it before, definitely keep it that way. And if you have played it before, don't sully any fond memories you may have of it with a replay. So let's begin with our guests as we like to. Ashley, what was your final rating for Super Mario World?
That would be a classic.
Oh, really? Like your prediction?
Yeah,
Oh.
just like I predicted. It did hold up. It was fun, and it was more fun for me because we got to experience it together. I don't think I would have had a chance of beating the game on my own because I probably would have gotten so frustrated by all the ghost houses and things like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't like puzzles. I don't like having to figure things out. I like very just linear, simplistic gameplay.
But you like Yoshi's Cookie?
I know that's the only puzzle game. It's because of Yoshi and the fact that they're cookies, but that's
Yes.
neither here nor there.
Fair.
But definitely a classic because this game really does have something for everything, everyone.
Yeah.
It has secrets, mostly linear gameplay. If you don't want it to be linear, go find those secret exits, go to the Star Road,
Yeah.
go find all of those hidden levels because there are so many. So many that I looked it up earlier. There's just so many different levels and they looked so cool. But I'm like, I don't have the patience to follow that through and invest all that time because at the end of the day, I usually just play games for like patches of 10 minutes at a time
Yeah,
and I wouldn't get very far in this game otherwise. But
Totally get that.
search it all, find it all. There's something for everybody in this game.
Very cool. Now, before we get to me and Paul's reigns, like to go to our reflex capacitors, the people that support the podcast. And collectively, when we pool their range together, they also rate Super Mario World a classic. So, Paul, I don't know. We're with our two tragics. I don't know how we're gonna have to do it. I don't know how we're gonna do this draw, but oh wait, we haven't voted yet. What was your sorry? What was your rating, PaulJPowers.com?
Well,
I'm sure it wasn't tragic, right?
well, like you said, I think it is tragic that I don't really have an answer because here's
Oh, you don't
Here's
have
where
like
I'm
a
going with
rating?
this,
All
okay?
right. Yeah, now you've piqued my curiosity.
I blame Shredder's Revenge on this because we recently reviewed the original TMNT arcade game,
Yes.
and we didn't rate it that high because
No, I think we did Disputed
well,
Nostalgia.
you can listen to it.
Yes.
You find folks who you can listen to it.
RetroRewindPodcast.com/289.
But Shredder's Revenge is a newer game, and a lot of times based on our games, like Keithos, our games correspondent, will say it's not as good as the latest game, so I'd rather play the latest game, and therefore this game goes down a notch or two.
Yeah.
But I haven't played a lot of the recent Mario games that I think are better than this because they have the co-op, they have a lot of different of the same elements, and I'm not talking about the 3D ones. I'm talking about the side-scrolling one that's like this.
Yeah.
Has the same sort of mechanics to
Platforming mechanics, yes.
Right. So in comparison, I think it may not be as good. So how can I rightfully say it's a classic? But I don't know. And I don't really find myself drawn to this game like, hey, I'm bored. I'm going to go play Super Mario World, So I'm stuck.
Well, okay.
You know what? I'm going to say nostalgic because if you liked it,
okay,
you will like it again. And if you haven't played it, there's probably newer games. And everyone can hate me if everyone who says like, oh, this is like the best game ever, because it might be a classic and I don't know any better. I don't know. I feel really weird.
Yeah, no, I mean that's totally valid, Paul. I'm
not looking for anyone to validate my feelings. I just want someone to validate my. Never know. No, go.
Well, that leaves me, and I would. I have played I haven't played the newer platformer ones, but I've looked at them, and honestly, they look too bubblegum for me, which is weird because this game is very bright and very colorful.
But it's not bubblegum.
But it's not bubblegum, and it feels. I think I get the impression, especially with the co-op ones, there's this bubble mechanic. I've seen friends of us from church community group, their kids will play it, and so.
It's kind of like Tails with following Sonic. Like you drop off.
And you can. It's almost like you can never really die. You're never really in that much danger.
If you both die.
Yeah, if you both die. But I feel like it seems like you have such a a low threshold for that happening, that there's not much challenge. And I know I want my Dark Souls experience. So
You know what? This is a fun game. I changed mine to classic.
I already wrote it down. You think I could just erase the rating?
Yeah.
No, but what I'm going to say is
He gets a redo. I mean, hey, if we can rewind when we played the game, then Paul can rewind his opinion.
that's true. He
I hit
rewinds.
start select. I redid it, and I
He changed his mind.
found the
Super
secret
Mario
exit.
World was released on 1990.
Oh yeah.
You gonna hit it? Okay, so what? So your actual rating is what, Paul?
It's classic.
Classic. Okay. All right.
It is. It's a great game. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. At least that's the way I feel.
No.
So.
So was just me describing later games what was the turning point for you or something?
Maybe
All right.
it was the final thing that pushed it off the ledge. That
Yeah.
was just
I think
these
this
new games suck. This was great.
I think this is a great amalgamation of beautiful graphics, of challenge, exploration, linearity, if that's what you're going for. I think this really has so much for everyone, except for people that want that playing at the same time co-op experience. I guess you don't get that with this, but
don't
Right,
think we
and it's
need
a
that.
side scrolling
Yeah, I don't think
game.
you
I
need
know
that.
people that hate side scrolling games.
yeah, okay,
so-
all right, fair. But so for Paul, classic. For me, also classic. I enjoyed playing this again. I enjoyed listening to the music and playing through,
Experiencing
it.
multiplayer for the first time.
And I had forgotten about the autumn look. If you go through all the Star Road stuff, and part of me
Right.
wants to try to get to that just to
We-
experience it.
We can try.
I have
Do it.
other games to
Not play.
This is
create.
a classic.
And other games to not play. Yeah.
Yeah, I have other games to not play.
Yeah, me
I
too.
have Tunic to not play, Super Mario RPG to not play.
I know so
What are
many
you
games to
What
not
are you
play.
doing on Saturdays? What's this RPG thing that you're doing on
Fantasy
Saturdays?
Star 4.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah.
Gotta be getting somewhere near the end, right? No,
I'm
yes,
maybe
You could pause on it
two-thirds.
and play some Mario World.
If I'm going to pause, which I may do this weekend, I'm going to be playtesting Juggernauts probably. But regardless,
Guess
we're
who
not
won't
talking
be
about
doing
that
Me.
right
I won't.
now. With 4 classics, we rate Super Mario World a unanimous, not disputed, unanimous classic game. We'd recommend anyone go play this, whether or not you've played it before.
Wait, that makes 2 episodes in a row.
Yes, of
that
unanimous
doesn't
classics.
happen often.
No,
Wow.
that's very peculiar. Wah, wah.
I was just about to do that.
Okay, well now it's time to get back to our. Well, we're going to stay put in 1990 and find out where you all can check us out online. Travis.
Return to 20XX overridden. Comsats broadcasting while awaiting return coordinates.
All right, it feels good.
Go.
Yeah, to stay in 1990. But we wouldn't have been able to travel to 1990 to begin with if it weren't for our amazing reflux capacitors, namely Deborah Powers, Geek Devotions, Drew of the Cellcast, Ashley Ruiz. Oh, you're right here. Woo! Kennethan, Fabulous Lomax, Rosie Lomax, That's Our Baba, D. Tungsten, Dale, Mr. Lost, Daryl Hafner, Cool Deluxe, Dustin Warford, in addition to 2 other awesome patrons as well. Thank you all so much for keeping the gigawatts coming. And if you want to help keep us flying and get bonus content for your generosity, head over to retrorewindpodcast.com/support to start.
Edna mode.
Oh,
All right.
do you
Now
want
I
me
need your
to
help.
Do that again? Oh, okay.
No. We can insert Ashley's promo because it's a callback to Share.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Or we can do this one.
Woohoo! Hello, everybody. This stream is sponsored by PaulJPowers.com. Wahoo!
Which
Let's do this. Let's use
we have other
Ashley's-
Mario stuff to cover.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Let's
Yeah.
use Ashley's now since it is a callback to Turn Back Time. And then we'll use that Mario one for the other, either the movie or Mario Kart.
Okay.
So, yeah, that works. Okay.
So thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, so I'll insert
course.
that about here. Okay, Paul, you can go ahead with your.
Yeah.
Are there any other ways?
All right. So, Francisco, are there any non-monetary ways to support the show that doesn't like totally break our budget?
Oh, actually, yeah. So you listening probably enjoyed this episode if you've made it this far. So if you aren't driving, tap the share icon in your podcast player for this episode. And yeah, it might make that sound. Who knows? And send it to a friend saying, I know you like the game Super Mario World or just Super Mario in general and thought you might like this podcast on it.
Cool. And I'll bet they'll thank you for sharing it.
Probably. Much
And
like the end thank you screen.
Yeah. Which was weird. That just didn't shut off and go back to the main
Yeah,
screen.
that was weird.
That was weird.
Yeah, okay. It wasn't just me. Okay.
No, no,
No, it happened on
I was
Switch
hitting all the
Online too. It's
buttons.
just like,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
can't I get? Oh, let me hit those Z buttons. I'm
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
okay, guess we'll go back to game select. Okay, bye.
Yeah. And then it didn't save. It was like the last save before that. Like, at least for me. Yeah. Anyway. So another thing I didn't like about Super Mario World.
What?
No.
You missed
No,
your
we're going
chance
to-
at that.
Missed
Paul.
opportunity.
All right. So let's continue thanking people. We want
Yeah.
to thank Ashley for coming on and sharing her reviews. We'll send out a big mushroom hug to you. So just curious, you maybe could share with people where you can be found online if there's anything cool you got going on, or
Yeah.
if not, they can just
Yeah.
go play Super Mario World.
Yeah, they should go play Super Mario World. But y'all can find me on, I guess I should say X, formerly Twitter, at Ashley Ruiz 1186, and I just tweet about all things faith and fandom. And I did tweet about playing Super Mario World with my husband and how fun that was.
Yes.
So yeah, I tweet a little bit about faith, fandom, and all the intersections between.
Very cool. Yeah, thank you so much, Ashley, and my awesome. I was gonna say mushroom loving friend, but I don't think you love mushrooms really. A power up loving,
bad.
power up friend,
There we
Paul
go.
Powers, and
I'll
all
take
you
that.
rewinders, new or old, for another fun voyage.
You're welcome. And you can find me, pauljpowers.com, at Super Mario World's favorite website, pauljpowers.com.
Yeah, I'm sure it's their favorite. And
Yeah.
you can find me on our Discord for show announcements or just to say hi. Join us there at retrorewindpodcast.com and sign up to find out more about Junkyard Juggernauts at junkyardjuggernauts.com.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box, a curated collection of podcasts, videos, and articles that will provide you a balanced meal of content. You will find culture celebrated for its past and future, satirized for its extremes, explored in study, and created anew in story. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
Wow, that ominous voice is right. We are now part of Culture Box Media Network. Find all the shows unpacking truth through story, comedy, and geekery at culturebox.media.
Thank you, EXO, and thank you all for listening. We pray you are more joyful today than when you first hit play. But like a Pokemon, we gotta catch you for the next episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Rewinders of the Lost Pod mission complete. Review audio ship's logs for more details.
Nice. What is that the end of the bonus stages?
That is the end of
Okay,
the bonus
yeah.
stage. So if you stuck around to the end, that's your bonus.
Awesome. And Bobo, I like that more than the ending of Streets of Rage 2 where it kicks you back to the opening screen and Dr. X is in control again. All right, fine.
That sucks.
Well, yes, it does. But I mean, that's if you want to replay the game again, that sort of has to do that.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Okay, well, thank you so much, Bobo, Book of Gaming, Sean, Kirk, Deucin,
Pastor
if you're
Deucin.
still here. PaulGPowers.com is here. Oh my gosh. I think those are the main. Star Fox, Geek Devotions, Apple Dance,
And everyone in chat.
Yeah, so I try to hit up everyone, but yeah, thank you all so much for hanging out. We're gonna switch over to spiritual speculation, which may end up not being a thing depending on how much we have to talk about. I have one maybe, but we'll see.
Depends on how powerful these mushrooms are.
Yeah,
Oh
right?
my word. But yeah, thank you so much. And here is your stream face.
I am not a cat.
Oh my gosh.
There we go.